They are brave souls, and we are doing something special. So we begin with our Pentecost reading from Acts chapter 2, starting at verse 1. When the day of Pentecost arrived, they were all gathered together in one place, and suddenly there came from heaven a sound like a mighty rushing wind, and it filled the entire house where they were sitting. And divided tongues as of fire appeared to them and rested on each one of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. Now there were dwelling in Jerusalem Jews, devout men from every nation under heaven. And at this sound the multitude came together, and they were bewildered because each one was hearing them speak in his own language.
Und aus der Tag der Pfingsten sich erfüllte, waren sie alle einmütig beisammen. Und es entstand plötzlich vom Himmel her ein Brausen wie von einem daherkommenden, gewaltigen Wind und erfüllte das ganze Haus in dem See. Und erschienen ihnen Zungen wie von Feuer, die sich zerteilten und sich auf jeden von ihnen setzen. Und sie wurden alle vom Heiligen Geist gefüllt und fingen an, in anderen Sprachen zu reden, wie der Geist es ihnen auszusprechen gab. Es wohnte aber in Jerusalem Juden, gottesfürchtige Männer, aus allen Heidenvölkern unter dem Himmel. Als nun dieses Gottes entstand, kam die Menge zusammen und wurde bestürzt, denn jeder hörte sie in seiner eigenen Sprache reden.
And they were amazed and astonished, saying, "Are not all these who are speaking Galileans? And how is it that we hear each of us in his own native language? Parthians and Medes and Elamites and residents of Mesopotamia, Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia, Egypt and the parts of Libya belonging to Cyrene, and visitors from Rome, both Jews and proselytes, Cretans and Arabians. We hear them telling in our own tongues the mighty works of God." And all were amazed and perplexed, saying to one another, "What does this mean?" But others mocking said, "They are filled with new wine."
Estavam, pois, atônitos e se admiravam, dizendo: "Vede, não são porventura galileus todos esses que aí estão falando? E como os ouvimos falar, cada um em nossa própria língua materna? Somos partos, medos, elamitas, e os naturais da Mesopotâmia, Judeia, Capadócia, Ponto e Ásia, da Frígia, da Panfília, do Egito e das regiões da Líbia, nas imediações de Cirene, e romanos que aqui residem, tanto judeus como prosélitos, cretenses e arábios. Como os ouvimos falar em nossas próprias línguas as grandezas de Deus?" Todos, atônitos e perplexos, interpelavam uns aos outros: "Que quer isso dizer?" Outros, porém, zombando, diziam: "Estão embriagados."
But Peter, standing with the 11, lifted up his voice and addressed them. "Men of Judea and all who dwell in Jerusalem, let this be known to you, and give ear to my words, for these people are not drunk as you suppose, since it is only the 3rd hour of the day. But this is what was uttered through the prophet Joel. And in the last days it shall be, God declares, that I will pour out my Spirit on all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Even on my male servants and female servants, in those days I will pour out my Spirit, and they shall prophesy."
Alors Pierre se leva à côté en Uzé. Du forfaitait, il dit à la foule: "Écoutez-moi bien, vous qui habitez à la Judée, et vous tous qui journez à la Jérusalem. Comprenez ce qui se passe. Certains d'entre vous insinuez que ces hommes seraient ivrés. Pas du tout. Il est bien 9 heures du matin, mais maintenant célébrisez ce qu'Évray énonçait le prophète Joël. Voici qui arrivera de Dieu dans le jour de la fin des temps. Je reprendrai en mon espérance sur tout le monde. Vos fils prospéreront. Vos jeunes par des visions. Vos vieillards par des songes. Recevront des révélations. Oui, sur mes serviteurs, comme sur mes servantes, je reprendrai de mon espérance en ces jours-là. Ils prospéreront.
And I will show wonders in the heavens above, and signs on the earth below, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the day of the Lord comes, the great and magnificent day.
Arriba en el cielo y abajo en la tierra mostraré prodigio sangre, fuego y nubes de humo. El sol se convertirá en tinieblas y la luna en sangre, antes que llegue el día del Señor, día grande y esplendoroso. Y todo el que invoque el nombre del Señor será salvo.
And it shall come to pass that everyone who calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. This is the word of the Lord.